Mission Control Podcast.
Mission Control Podcast, the coolest podcast you've never heard of it before. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is the first episode. I'm so excited. My name is Jason, aka Baby Boy, aka well, I go about a lot of different names these days. I'm here with.
Yeah, my name's Adrian. I really don't got like a badass name like Baby Boy over here. But pass it back to you, bro.
But yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're watching this on YouTube or wherever we decide to post this, this is the first episode of the Mission Control Podcast. Woo! I feel like I need to put some sound effects or something whenever I go to edit this.
Bro, I'm kind of nervous. Ain't gonna lie. The first episode's gonna be the best one.
It's like a conversation between me and you.
Yeah, I get you, bro. I get you.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, guys, we're recording this on a Sunday. It's pretty late right now, actually, because somebody had to work.
Sorry.
Anyways, guys, like I said before, thank you for tuning in. This is the Mission Control Podcast, and yeah, we're just gonna get straight into it. Okay, I have a couple topics here that we want to talk about. Oh, but before we do that, let's just talk a little bit about ourselves. Do you want to go first, or should I?
I'll go first. I'll break the ice. So I'm Adrian. I'm 20. Of course, from Houston, Texas, born and raised. Going to community college, and then I don't know, like a little hobby, I guess, the stock market. That's pretty much what I do in my free time outside of work. Let me pass it back to you, bro.
Yeah. So, like I said before, my name's Jason. I guess a little bit about me. I have a YouTube channel. I go to college.
The best YouTube channel, bro.
I'm not gonna say all that, but I have a YouTube channel. I go to college. I'm 20 years old. I don't know what else I'm supposed to say.
Bro, you're from Colombia. You like 6'7". Come on, bro. You leaving out the facts.
Look, if you're watching this, you're gonna get to know us the more we do this. Okay, this is just like the first pilot episode. So we're trying to get all this worked out still. But let's go straight into it. I got some topics here for us to talk about. The first one is, do you think going to college is still important in 2020? And then Adrian, I think Adrian's the perfect person to talk with this about because he's very like heavily into looking into like things about entrepreneurs, stocks, businesses. So I think you're the perfect person to ask this question. Do you think going to college is still something that's important nowadays?
I actually been thinking about this like pretty often, like recently. Just because like I'm halfway through college and stuff like that. And to like 85% of the people out there, yes, going to college is like necessary. I wouldn't say mandatory, but it'd be good like just to separate you from the other people. So I mean, for example, like one thing I like to tell everybody is, bro, like if you have like something that you like to wake up to, for example, if you like to be a biologist or you like to work with like social workers or like become a teacher or stuff like that, go to school to be able to earn that. And then on top of that, I mean, you can make money on the side if it's not like a lot. Like most people go to school for being like engineers or graphic designers where like you make a lot of money, but they don't really like their job and they don't like going to work every day. So again, like talking about it with entrepreneur stuff, like it's really like 50-50 with me, where like 50% of my income's from stocks and like investments, and then the other 50% is from like my regular job and stuff like that. So in 2020, I would say yes, just because like a backbone, because like you know how people go through phases and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I don't know about you, bro, but I wanted to become a nurse just because like I grew up with I was kind of like in the mindset of, oh, bro, nurses make a lot, so I'm gonna make a lot. Like I'm gonna do this just so I can make a lot of money. And then, I got into like real estate. I got into stock market stuff, and I found out that jobs are really like the way to make money, but it's more like more like the 50% of your income and the rest will be somewhere else, Does that make sense?
Do you think it's important to go to college and get like a bachelor's degree, like 4 years or longer, or what do you think?
It really depends because honestly, if you're a doctor, you have to go med school.
Yeah, of course.
And all that, but if you're just going to become, how can I say, like, what's a great example?
Like an English major or something like that?
Yeah, like if you just want to, like, if you already have your mindset on, oh, I want to be an elementary school teacher, or I want to be a construction worker, or I want to be like an architect,
Mm-hmm.
you got to research it because, I mean, school is really only like 10-15% of the work. Like,
That's true.
when I started getting into like the workforce and stuff like that, it's not about what you know, it's really about who you know, like all the connections that you have. Because obviously you're not going to go into a bank and become like one of the highest paid persons. Like, no, you have to slowly work yourself in. And that's the thing that kind of gets the people. They assume the degree's going to get them all the way to the final spot, when in reality it's experience and time in the actual company that will help you out. Because, I mean, for example, my company, there's people who already have degrees, but they're still on the same level as me because I have more experience and stuff like that, you know?
Right.
Like, it really just depends on like the major or like what you're trying to do. Because, I mean, for example, like a nurse, you're dealing with people's lives, you have to do that. But for example, like a construction worker, like a hands-on, like a skill-intensive person, you need experience 100%. Like, I mean, the degree doesn't mean anything unless you have experience. But in 2020, I would say go to college. I highly recommend community college, and I highly recommend an associate's degree, because that pretty much just tells you, or tells the employer that, hey, I'm really interested in this and I really want to work for it, but I understand the experience is more value than degree and stuff like that.
Right.
Plus, it's too expensive. Like, in my opinion, I know people who are like $100,000 into debt, but if they put that into like a house or like into stocks, they could be making like $1,000 a month like that, you know? Like, there's just a bunch of like circumstances that you have to understand. And I feel like people aren't like just like, they don't have financial education. Like, and that's really the thing that I wish like schools taught you. Is because
Adrian will tell you.
yeah, like, bro, once I got into like the finances and stuff like that, bro, like, you would make way more money. Like, I don't know how to say it, bro. Like, you kind of come here like on like a writer's block type of thing, where you will make way more money if you understand how money works and stuff like that. Like, if you just go to your 9 to 5 and then you go watch TV when you get to the house and then redo it every Monday through Friday, you know, you're not gonna be rich off that, bro. Like, you have to find ways to make money and really make the money work for you. You know, that's how millionaires become. They just don't make like $150 an hour. Like, no, they make investments to do that.
Right.
But yeah, like you're saying, like, I'm an entrepreneur and stuff like that. I do plan on buying like a real estate property this year. You know, depending on what the COVID and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, like, I found out you can make tons of more money outside of a 9 to 5 if you really put your mind to it. Me, I would still go to college personally, just because it's like the backbone type of thing, where, like, you know, I could pick whatever job I wanted to, and if I was really happy, you know, that could pay the bills, and then the other ones pay for the Lamborghinis and stuff like that. But that's just my personal take. I say go to college just to be on the safe side. You never know if you want to become a teacher or a nurse like in 5 years. I say just go ahead and do it, but just go to community college, because like I paid like $2,000 for a semester. Like, it's nothing crazy.
Yeah. I mean, as far as my perspective, I think my perspective is a little bit unique, just because, like, I feel like I know a lot of people and I'm surrounded by a lot of people that, like, either dropped out of high school or they didn't finish college, or just like something, you know, didn't go to college at all. Just something, you know, they didn't finish their education. So
Yeah.
like, my perspective on it is, the question was, is it important to go to college in 2020? Yes, I think it's important to go to college. I don't think it's important to always finish. The reason I say that is because there's plenty of examples out there, and this isn't like an excuse or like, hey, like I could be like Mark Cuban or whatever the case may be, but there's a lot of examples out there of people who dropped out of college and like they did perfectly fine in their life. They made plenty of money, they have plenty of success, and you know they're doing just fine without the college degree, without the college education. But that being said, I think that it is important for everybody to go for at least a year. At least I would say max like 2 years. If you really know college, I would still say go for like maximum 2 years, because and you could speak to this too. I think the one thing that you get out of college, even if you're not trying to be like you said, like a nurse, a doctor, nothing like that, the one thing you do get out of college is you do learn how to like network and work with different types of people. You know what I mean? Because when you're in college, it's very like it's very diverse. You know what I'm saying? And like you have to interact with all kinds of different types of people. And I think that's like a skill that like is that just that alone is like very valuable, because even if you do run a business, or whatever it is you want to do, whatever it is you're passionate about, you're gonna have to work with different types of people, and college just teaches you how to network and how to maneuver different circles. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I understand.
I think that's the one part of college that's invaluable. And then other than that, man, I would just say, like, I feel like you can't knock college until you try it. You can't knock it till you try it. You know what I mean? So I feel like even if you're somebody who knows, like, I'm not gonna get a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, whatever, I would still say go do a semester, 2 semesters, just so you can say, like, hey, I went to college. Because what a lot of people don't know is, you know how on a job application you have to put like what level of education you have? Saying you have a high school education and saying you have some college education, even if it's like a semester, makes a huge difference on something like a resume or like a portfolio or whatever it is, you know? Just that little detail will make the biggest difference, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, is going to college important? I would say you don't have to finish, but I do think it's important to go for at least a year or a semester just to like get that foundation, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I really don't remember if you know, but like, obviously, like, I guess like the area I grew up and stuff like that. Like hands-on working is always like the way to go. Like people want to be welders, people want to be pipeline fitters and stuff like that. Just because like right now, like that's booming and stuff like that, right?
Right.
But you always have to be continuously evolving. Like the degree is gonna pretty much be there as like the foundation for your future. Like for example, like yeah, you can go straight out of high school to become a welder and stuff like that. And you can make a killing for like 4 or 5 years, but then the second that business goes away, you're gonna just be latching onto other people. And then like for example, like let's say like a big company like Exxon or like Shell, like the big oil companies.
Right.
If they like somehow like something happened to them, or like they were to like they cut their company in half or something like that, all their workers will be gone. And where's he gonna go if you just had experience at one company? Like that degree is always gonna have like a foundation, even if it's like general education. I think it's called, right?
Yeah.
Like your basic general education.
Super basic.
They're gonna see that. Oh, you know what? He actually like made the effort to go to college, instead of just going straight out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, but in some cases, college isn't for everybody. Like I've seen plenty of people at my local community college where the school just isn't for them. Like they don't like coming to school. They don't.
College ain't for everybody, guys.
College ain't for anybody. But you have to find like what you want to do. Because I wanted to be a nurse. The very first class that I took, I was like, you know what, bro, I'm good. I'll change my major to management, and I've been happy ever since. Like you just have to find like your role in life, I guess. Like you gotta have like a real like deep understanding of, can I do this every single day for the rest of my life? And then that's when you start chasing it,
And I think it's important to say too, like if you are gonna drop out of college or whatever the case may be, like make sure I'm not gonna say you should have a plan, or what I'm gonna say is that you should already know what you're passionate about. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
if you're gonna drop out of college, you should know like, hey, I'm gonna go pursue an entrepreneur venture or something like that. I'm gonna go start a fashion company. I'm gonna go start a tech company, or whatever it is you want to do. But I don't like seeing people, and this is just my opinion, I don't like it when people drop out with no plan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because
there's nothing wrong with dropping out. There's nothing wrong with not going to college, but know what you want to do. And if you don't know what you want to do, then like I said before, go for a semester, a year, whatever the case may be, and figure it out. And at the same time, you're going to get those skills in college, like networking and basic, like those basic classes that you take. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the general education.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm telling you, like, there's plenty of times where I wanted to drop out of college, but, obviously I'm going to be the first one in my family to graduate from college. And I'm telling you, it's just like some days you're just going to feel like real burnt out. You have senioritis, like right after high school. I had senioritis. I didn't want to do nothing with textbooks. I didn't want to do nothing with like reading and stuff like that. But then I was like, you know what, bro, I'm going to struggle for like 2 or 3 years. But then I'm going to strive for the next 40 years, Like
Yeah.
just the final year, final 2 years, like I'm good. Like, you know, like my life is strictly working from there and investments and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, would you take a gap year though? I wouldn't personally. Like I wouldn't.
Gap year?
Yeah,
No, I don't think I would do that.
yeah. Just because I think when you do a gap year, it's gonna be really difficult to go back. Like especially for like a higher education, like University of Houston or like Rice and stuff like that. You always have to be continuously like educating yourself and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But a genius with no plan will always be beat by a dumb person with a plan. If that makes sense.
Yeah. And
I have-
work ethic too. Work ethic is a big thing because you don't always have to be like the smartest or the most talented, but just someone who works hard and who has a passion and who knows what they want to do. They're going to be successful, and they don't necessarily have to go to college and get a bachelor's degree or a master's degree or PhD, whatever the case may be. But I would say the biggest thing, if anybody who's watching this, find your passion, know what you want to do, and then pursue that. If that involves not going to college for whatever reason, you think college is going to be a waste of time, then pursue that passion, but also have like a plan and know where you want to go with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because another thing, last thing, and then we'll move on to the next subject. The other thing I hate to see is like people who, I don't want to say this is a bad thing either, but people who leave high school and they're immediately like, oh, I'm gonna go work at the refineries, or I'm gonna go work at the plants, or that type of thing. Because with a lot of those people, I feel like, and I don't want to make like a blanket statement at all, but a lot of people, they're just like they're looking for money. You know what I'm saying? That quick money, and it's good money. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like,
Yeah.
it's like an easy exit. It's like an easy way out. Like
Yeah.
if I would have left high school and said, oh, I'm gonna go work at the refineries, I would be making good money, but I feel like I would probably be miserable. And a lot of people that I talk to that are working at these plants and refineries and stuff, like, yeah, they're making a lot of money, but they're not happy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like it's labor intensive work, rain, shine, snow.
Yeah.
Everything. Like, especially here in Texas, like Houston, Texas, bro, like summers, they can get up to like 110, 10, 105, Like, I mean, like you said, like they do make a lot of money, but I mean, could you really do that every single day for like 30, 40 years,
Mm-hmm.
Like just grinding out there in the sun and grinding out there like in 50-degree weather. Like, I couldn't do that.
And there's no, like I said before, there's nothing wrong with people who do it. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like I'd rather put time into something I actually want to do, even if it's making me less money at that time, than to pursue something else that I hate that's making me a lot more money. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, we're gonna move on to the next topic. That was good. I like how that went so far. But the next topic I got is basically this topic came from a documentary that I was watching the other day. It's on HBO. This ain't no sponsorship, but basically the documentary was about how like nowadays, 2020, a lot of like dating and socializing happens like online and on dating apps and stuff like that. So the next topic was basically dating apps / trying to find love on social media. So I think we should preface this by saying that Adrian, he's practically married. Well, he's not. He's joking, guys. He is in a relationship, so I feel like. And then y'all met online, right? Like on social media or whatever.
So, yeah, we met actually like a year and 7 months ago, like on Snapchat.
He got them dates locked down. He got them dates.
Yeah, our anniversary's like in 5 days, so I don't forget. Mm-hmm. So she knows I don't forget, bro. She'll probably be watching this too. But
again, I feel like you're the perfect person to talk about this. Because, back our parents, our grandparents, back in the day, it used to be a lot of like, you used to have to actually go out to like bars or like social settings or, you had to leave the house to like meet people. And nowadays you could just meet, like thousands of people, hundreds of people from your phone and then link up that way, after so many months of talking or whatever. So,
yeah, I get you.
So what do you think about that? Like, what do you think this is the new normal for how it's going to be?
Yeah, definitely it's been the new normal. I mean, probably since like or like late middle school, early high school, like that's how you would link up with people from like different schools and stuff like that. Because I mean, you gotta think about it, bro. Like if you went to like a certain middle school, you could really only see those certain people like at school every day. Like for example, like if you had a crush at like some, or like if your crush was like in another school or something, bro, you would only see her like after school or like like on social media and stuff like that. But I think like example you used earlier, like I can go on my Instagram right now and find like 3,000 people, and I could just hit up everybody, and instead of having to go like to the mall or like to like the movies and stuff like that, like you just have way more. How can I say it? Not variety, but like you can link up with people way more easier like that.
So what's crazy is this documentary I was talking about. They said, I think it was like some sort of researcher or scientist. They were like, back in the day, there was like, and I'm talking way back, like before like pre-internet, like social media. You were what's the word? You were only likely to meet like 12 partners in your lifetime. Like meet like 12, in our case, like 12 girls or whatever in your lifetime. And now it's the point where like, because of like social media and like the internet, like you have tons of options out there, literally like thousands of options. And it's like crazy how accessible people are nowadays,
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's just crazy. Like this is like what's normal now. And honestly, I feel like I would like it a lot. Well, maybe I'm by myself on this. I would like it a lot more if it was like old school. Like you have to actually go places and meet people. Because I feel like a lot of times these interactions we have like on the internet and online, they're like not authentic at all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you.
Mm-hmm. Like sometimes you'll start a conversation with somebody online and it'll go like absolutely nowhere because you don't know anything about them. They're probably who knows how far away. And I don't know, I just feel like human interaction, especially nowadays, is just like gone down a lot, and it's like hurting us.
Yeah, I get you, bro. Because I mean, I know you experienced this too, where like, I mean, you would DM like a bunch of girls, like, and you have like a success rate like of anywhere between like 5 to 10%, like say, but like in person and stuff like that, and like like you went to go talk to her and got her number, like yeah, I could build up something like that. But when you're just like DMing like a random person, there's gonna be nothing about them, you don't know nothing about you. Maybe if anything, like, just like the bio, or like just a couple pictures on their Instagram and stuff like that, or like if they retweet some stuff like that. But like it's more like of a break the ice type of thing first, instead of the first interaction will be breaking the ice. Because with my girlfriend, we had met on Snapchat. We probably talked for like a week, a couple of days, and then out of nowhere she was like, "Hey bro, come meet me up some here," or like a Chick-fil-A, and I was like, "All right, say less,"
Yeah.
Like the first like 2 or 3 days were like, oh, like getting to know each other and stuff like that.
Right.
Like I feel like back in the days, like it was way more easier. Where like it would be on the spot, like type of day. Where like if you start,
I don't want to say it was easier, but it was different because.
Or like catfishing, bro. You gotta think about it like that.
Because when if I send a text to you and I don't know you, you may or not reply, but even if you do reply, it's sort of like that interaction is just not the same as like when you're in person and like you get like see a person and you're getting like a lot, just the feeling, the whole interaction is different. You know what I'm saying? You could feel their energy. You could feel if they're responsive. Like what the vibe is, and I feel like that's something you're probably never gonna get off a phone. And yeah, I mean, do I think that using those kind of apps is bad? No, I don't think it's bad. I mean, I've used them before. I'm pretty sure you've used them before. But when he was single, guys, he's in a relationship now. But yeah, I mean, I just feel like nowadays, like, can you imagine like a day whenever like we start having like, well, it's probably headed that way because of quarantine, which is the next topic. But like people having like online like weddings and like what do you call it, receptions online, like wedding parties.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, well, you gotta think about it like this, bro. Like, let's say like you meet some girl and like let's say you meet her on Instagram, right?
Mm-hmm.
And All right, let's say okay, like better example, bro. Like you know this girl, like you're gonna be like the one to marry, like she's gonna be the one and everything like that.
Yeah.
But if you saw her in person and like met her personality and saw that she was like a really nice girl and she was really really pretty, or if like on Instagram you're just scrolling by and she had like a cartoon like on her profile picture and everything was like
And some of these
thing was
people,
on private.
some of these people be like, what? I don't want to say. I don't mean this in a bad way, but they be catfishing with them filters.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yep.
Like you don't see the real person no more. Like especially for me, bro. Like I try to get all the good angles. I try to get all my friends to take me good pictures and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But like if you saw me in person, you saw like my Twitter, my Instagram, like it's a whole different story, bro. Like
Two different
I don't
people.
know about you, but
No. And I just feel like like because like a lot of people use their phones and stuff. I feel like it's easier to be who you want to be instead of who you are online.
yeah,
And it's easier to portray or be somebody that you're not rather than be who you really are and just like be yourself. Because honestly, like you could be whoever you want when you're on the internet or dating apps or whatever. You don't you don't have to be the person you say you are.
yeah, I get you.
Yeah, it's just I don't know.
It's a crazy world out there, man. Like I'm saying, you can alter yourself. You could be who you don't want to be, and you will literally never know who the real person is until you have face to face contact. So I said,
Just,
bro, I've been there, like trust me, dude. It's
just
crazy.
imagine having like a wedding party and the whole thing is like on like a Zoom call and it's like 50 people on a Zoom call. That's where we're going with it. That's really where we're going with it. And it's crazy to see. But
Does that bring us to our next topic?
next topic. Yeah, you're right. And I don't know how long we've been recording, but this is going to be one of our final topics, guys. So, final topic is, obviously, as many of you know, COVID-19, the pandemic. It's everywhere, guys. It's here in the U.S. It's pretty much in every country, and we've been forced to stay indoors. But now, recently they've kind of given us a little bit of what would you call it? Like I guess slack or like a little bit of bit of room to go out and like certain businesses are open. But for the most part, the whole virus is still a danger. It's still out there. It's not gone yet. But what do you think about the whole situation and basically give us an update your quarantine up until this point?
Oh man, it's been a roller coaster ride, bro. Like I would say, like early March is when like we started like hearing about it and stuff like that, and it'd be like on CNN or like stuff like that. And I was enrolled into college. I was still working like 50 hours a week. I was seeing my girlfriend like every other day. And then the second, like the U.S. was like, yeah, you know what, like we're gonna go ahead and cancel everything. I got a message from my boss saying, hey, you know what, like we're gonna be closing down. We don't know how long and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, in a matter of like a couple of days, school changed 100% to online classes. My work was like, hey, you know what, we're gonna be on the safe side. We're gonna go ahead and like make sure all of us stay home and stuff like that. And there was days where I was like, you know what, like how can I say, like, are we gonna survive this, or like what are we gonna do? Like it's like a once in a lifetime type of thing, or like at least in my opinion.
We've never experienced this in our lifetime.
Yeah, like out of nowhere, like pretty much all your freedom, or not freedom, but like it's like
pretty much, yeah, freedom, yeah.
Yeah, like or like I couldn't go to work, I couldn't see my girlfriend, I couldn't go to school. Like all I had to do was just stay home for like 2 or 3 weeks, and it was probably the most boringest 2 or 3 weeks of my life. But I took advantage of it. Like I took advantage as much as I could. Like I would work out as much as I could.
Yeah.
Read books, stock market stuff. Like I would always be trying to like make myself better, like as a better person that I have all this time.
Yeah.
How about you?
My perspective, I'm trying to think what I was doing before this whole thing started.
Bro, you were dropping videos left and right on Baby Boy's channel.
This podcast is not a plug for my YouTube channel, I promise.
But, everybody, youtube.com/babyboy with 2 Y's.
But like I was trying to say, yeah, pretty much like you. Before this whole thing started, I was working, going to school, making videos, like he said, just living normal life, what I normally do. And then when this whole thing happened, it just at first, did you believe it when it first happened? Like, were you like aware of like everything that was going on?
Yeah, actually, like funny story, like I wouldn't say I had like a gut feeling or anything like that, but there was way too many signs where like something was coming. Like there's a bunch of like Bill Gates was like one of the main persons. Like, hey, you know what, like we're booming and stuff like that, but there has to be something that's gonna break us down. Like we're not prepared for everything. Like for example, we could be prepared for like a war, we could be prepared for like a water drought, but something like on the level of pandemic, like a virus and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
we don't have the resources to fully like attack it. And for example, like how many people are in the U.S.? Like 300 million people.
Something like that. Something like
Yeah,
that.
something like that. Where we had to lock down everybody, and if it gets like a certain extent, we're gonna go ahead and cancel everything. Like this was like a 1-2 punch kind of thing. Like where everybody was shook. No one was gonna go to work. Our economy was failing. Like the real estate market was failing. Like no one knew what to do. Everybody's waiting for like unemployment. It was a whole crazy like two months, and then Kobe died. Like before that, it's
Bro,
been ridiculous. Ever since Kobe died, it's been ridiculous. Like
right.
every month is something new.
Kobe Bryant, the GOAT. And
Bro, thinking about this, we're filming this on May 31st, so tomorrow is June, so we're waiting for the next thing to happen, bro. Like January was Kobe, February was Australian fires, March was COVID. May is obviously like the what do you even call that? The riots and stuff like that, riots and protests.
that's a whole nother podcast. We're not even gonna talk
That's a whole episode. It's been crazy. Like 2020 has been on another level. Like,
but
honestly,
like what I was trying to say before, like I had heard about COVID, I heard about coronavirus, but it was one of those things where like it's not like I didn't believe it and I didn't know how serious it was. I knew it was serious. I knew it could spread quick. But do you remember like a couple years ago the Ebola outbreak? Do you remember?
yeah, I remember Ebolas, and then I don't know if you probably remember it because you're a little bit older than I am, but like Mars and SARS and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah,
there was like a strand like of the flu, but I think this one was like really blown out of proportion. But not necessarily the media did it, but like just in general, everybody was panicking.
yeah. So my point was like I knew how serious it was, but I never thought it would hit this close to home. You know what I'm saying? Because with those
Yeah.
diseases, like take Ebola. Ebola, perfect example. Like I heard about Ebola, I knew it was very like deadly and serious, but it was never something that was like close enough to where like I was really scared. But with this coronavirus, COVID-19, it it got serious whenever I started realizing how close it was getting. And then before I knew it, the news was saying like it's here where we live, and like the cases are rising every single day, every single week. And then that's when I really started to get scared. But I mean, up until this point, I thank God, I've been safe. My family's been safe. I think Adrian, same thing. I think the important thing to do is just always um, look after your own health. Even if it means you don't get to go out and party and do the things you would normally like to do. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought a little bit.
It's been a crazy
Yeah,
ride.
it's been wild up until this point, and I just feel like with everything that's going on now, like government and like states have been a little bit what's the word? Like they're trying to give us a little bit more opportunities to go out. They're allowing businesses to open and stuff like that. But I feel like everyone who's watching this, I feel like it's very important to don't think that it's gone or that everything is good now. Just because businesses are starting to open, you're able to go to a restaurant, whatever it is you like to do. It's still out there. It's still contagious. So be safe out there. Be careful. Wear your mask. I have my mask right here. You know what I'm saying? So just continue to be safe. Don't think just because we're able to go places that it's everything's good now, because that's not really, the only reason businesses are opening, in my opinion, is for money reasons, and I think everybody feels that way. Is literally for money reasons. But
Yeah, that's the thing.
mhm. You have anything else to add?
You know, like it is pretty sad that everything does have to like open up, but you know, like the economy needs to grow or like needs to provide because I mean, at the end of the day, like if we shut down for like 2 or 3 more months, like fully shut down,
Yeah.
you know, it'll be years before we get back on track. Like, you know, if we shut down to like August or September, you know, like schools would be brought back like a couple of years. People wouldn't go to college. You know, the stock market would be destroyed. The real estate market, like everything would be blown out of proportion.
Yeah,
And
and
it is good that
I understand why we have to open stuff, but I still don't think that means we all have to just rush into a bar, rush into a bombshells, because that, especially like I see it all the time, like on my Snapchat and stuff. People are like packing out the bombshells or whatever restaurant, and I'm like,
yeah,
bro, do you not know that this like it's still a danger out here? Like, you're not safe just because your favorite bar or your favorite restaurant is open, you know?
yeah, definitely stay safe. Like, you know, do whatever you can to protect yourself.
Where
Especially if you're family. Yeah, like always wear your mask, gloves, hand sanitizer.
Yep.
You know, be precautious of like where you go and stuff like that. Like, you know, it is crazy.
And on that note, I think we'll officially end our first podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It took so long to get this done. Adrian could tell you it took so long to get this done. I'm excited we finally did it. Do you have any closing words? Any final? Words?
You know, just thank you for coming out. We're definitely gonna be providing as much content as we can. You know, all of us are like on really busy schedules and stuff like that, getting used to our regular lives again. But definitely we'll be dropping as soon as we can. You know, just take care and stuff like that.
And the goal is every week. Every week.
Yeah, for sure.
No, that's the goal, guys. We're gonna try to do this at least once every week. Bring you guys new episodes. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. First episode, Mission Control Podcast, coolest podcast you've ever heard before. Thank you so much for watching, and